Today's lesson is 14.5 slope. Our purpose today is to calculate the slope of a line so that you can compare rates. Okay, let's first define slope. Slope is the rate of change between any 2 points on a line. It is a measure of the steepness of a line. So how steep the line is determines the slope. Okay, to find the slope, you find the ratio of the change in y, which is the vertical change, to the change in x, which is the horizontal change. So just to abbreviate this into a shorter form, slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x. So if we take a look at this line here, the green line is the line we're measuring the slope of. I have 2 points picked out here, and I'm going to highlight them in purple. Here's a point, and here's a point. So we notice here that the change is going 2 over to the right on the x-axis and up 3 on the y-axis. But remember, we write it as the change in y over the change in x. So the change in y is 3, the change in x is 2, so the slope of this line is 3 over 2. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of more examples. Remember, slope is the change in y over the change in x. Okay, this first line, we're taking a look at the point 0, 0 and 3, 4. So the change in y, or how far it's increasing up, is 4. The change horizontally across is 3. So the slope is 4 to 3, or 4/3. Okay, in my next one, notice that here's my first dot, -2, -2. Here's my second dot, 4, 1. So the y is increasing by 3. The x is changing by 6. So the change is 3 to 6, which reduces to 1/2. So the slope of the line is 1/2. Let's now apply it to a real-world situation. The table below shows your earnings for babysitting. It says to graph the data and then find and interpret the slope of the line. So the purple table shows our x and y coordinates. And as it says right here, hours is the x coordinate, earnings in dollars is the y coordinate. So they went through and they graphed several points. Okay, here is 0, 0. Then they have 210, 420. I'm sorry, 420 is right here. Then they have 630 and 840. Now there's also another one over here. But when we're measuring slope, you just pick any 2 points and find the change in y over the change in x. So they've chosen to use 420 and 840. So when I look at the change here, here's my change in x, here's my change in y. Y goes on top, so that's 20. X goes below it, and it's 4. But when we're doing slope, we always want it in simplest form. 20 and 4 share a common factor of 4. So when I divide both the numerator and denominator by 4, I get a slope of 5. Because my numerator becomes 5, my denominator is 1, and any number over 1 is equal to just a whole number. So the slope of this line is 5. You earn $5 per hour babysitting. Okay, what I'd like you to do right now is take a look at these 2 examples, 1 and 2. And I want you to find the slope of each line. So remember, slope is change in y over change in x. Please pause the video, record your answers, and then start it back up. Okay, so when I'm looking at the change in x and the change in y, I notice that the x goes from 0, 0 over here to 5, and y goes up 2. So the change in y is 2, the change in x is 5. So the slope is 2/5. In example 2, I'm looking at 2 points right here because this is not a proportional relationship because it doesn't pass through 0, 0. So this time I'm just going to actually have to look at the numbers. So I notice the change in x, it's going from 1 to 2. That means the change in x is simply 1. Now I'm going to take a look at the change in y and put it as my numerator. Well, y is going from 5 to 8. So 8 minus 5 is 3. So the slope of this line is 3 to 1, which is equal to 3.